made me say, that one who said, ndiri kuna ni eneo uria mutumia ginu korwo ari ki ahana nigetha amenye marathira na ki na generation yake, na ni aramenya uria generation cicie thutha ire karanga na ki na macio. Mom, carry on. Sophie Masharia, you see there generational the trouble we are in, and the issue of the single motherhood phenomenon. Karibu. Changacha Kiswahili na Kikuyu kidogo. Kiswahili kidogo also. Kwa sababu ya wale wako kwa kamera.
Good afternoon. When I was teaching young girls in Meru, I used to tell them in the afternoon class, adu makaba makarugama, mudu aga stretch moko. Uga stretch moko. Waigu orugari ukaiga nguere ya iguru thi na ndukarute ria i thiini. Ukageithia mundu ucio wi hau thutha no kamwira uria witagwo. Akorwo ndiri na mundu thutha ukageithia uria wi mbere. All right, so that blood can circulate and we can sit down. You are allowed to, hakuna soko, niku stretch tu na kusalimia mtu na kufanya mguu hivi ndivo, blood circulate, na kama unasikia joto utoe nguo ya juu. Na nimesema usitoe ya ndani. All right. My name is Dr. Sophie Masharia. Miaka 25 nimefundisha Kenyatta University. Nikafikiria wacha wale nimefundisha wafundishe. Wale niliacha wanafundisha. In the hope that my child, that one day I will give birth to my father who is called Maina. And that is selfless of her. Dagiambiriria kuga nyina wa Masharia, because that would be selfish of her. So no ajitire nyina wa Maina, hoping that I will not just get one son, but two. One who will be after her husband, and one that will be after my father. The media today is celebrating a lot of things that were not valuable in the African community. For instance, those of you who listen to radio and hear what radio presenters say, bwanako akipita kuguze kidole, unafanya nini? According to the radio presenters? According to the radio presenters, media, ile tunasikiza every morning. Mimi akinifanya hivyo, we have heard people call. Mimi akinifanya hivyo, siwezi rudi. Nobody tells the desperate young women atusikizi radio kama tunaenda shule. Either tukae kimya sisi wote, au utuambie story yako ya jana. Because unaweza fundisha watoto wako kila siku, wasikie Maina Kageni, bashing family, bashing mother, bashing father, bashing mother-in-law, na hujui unamuingiza. So what I used to do, I told you I'm a very old-fashioned woman. We would never listen to radio in the morning. Talk about that tree, talk about that building that was painted yesterday, talk about homework. There was no radio in the car in the morning. And in the evening, unless it is, those days there was no radio or mini. We didn't have very many channels. So sing if you want to sing, or read if you don't have anything to do. And for the longest time possible, you had to have a novel in the car and it sleeps there. Sababu kesho asubuhi lazima uchukue kitabu uende unasoma. It's better company than listening to. No offense meant to Maina Kageni, he's working, but I take a personal offense on that. We have become very tolerant, and I want to underline the word tolerant. To single mothers, we are absolutely tolerant, and that is how it should be. Why? Because we have to engage with social change. We have to accept our sisters and we have to accept our nieces when they become single parents. Why are we accepting them? Get free condoms? They get free condoms at the university. And free condoms mean free sex. What they see on TV, especially women, and I tell my children, muangalie huyu msichana, she's a very good dancer, but must we see everything that she has? Alafu mwanaume amevaa kutoka mguu mpaka juu. Hakuna kitu ya mwanaume unaona. When the girls are dancing and we celebrate, they must be nearly naked. And we have accepted. America is in our sitting rooms. And when we leave America in our sitting rooms, we carry America on our phones. So society has changed, and it will change drastically. And it will change beyond what we can accept. But we have to tolerate that. Harsh words like geshokyo, we no longer have that. If your daughter gets married, na bwanake amkataze amrudishe, hautaita your daughter geshokyo. I have not even heard that word in a very long time. Hata kwetu nyumbani sijaisikia geshokyo. I also haven't heard the word mware wa maina niaragire ihuria riko. I have not heard that in a long time. The currency we hear niaragire da. Da in the Kikuyu lingua was for a married woman who is expecting a child. If you are not married and you're pregnant, winaihu riariko. Marriage is no longer as exciting. Why? Because being a mistress is more exciting. I'm talking generally. Some things you have to know that they're not mine. I'm just researching. Being a mistress is more exciting. Why? Because the man brings everything to your home and asks you how you are and takes you out when you don't want to cook. And if you are unhappy, he asks you why you are unhappy, and so on. In the public discourse, we have pampered the mpango wa kando. In our media space, a lot of these young girls that are reading news are themselves. I didn't say that, you said it. Hapo sikusema. Sijasema chochote. So who are our role models? I would never be anybody's role model, because I'm telling chairman, I have to go home and I have to make sure that my family is all right, because I have not been given permission to sleep. Nimekuja kuwaongelea, nirudi. Kama nakuja kulala, ni sawa. So please hurry up, Prof, and hurry up everybody. Marriage in the yesteryears was a passport of identity. There is no woman who wanted not to feel they belonged to a clan, to a family, to a person. And a lot of us stood and said, Jitagwo wa garwa masharia na masharia nibyo yo ikarite haha. Na diaragia atajirite jukire. Kugwo gaikara thi akajira jukire. That's how it used to be. But again, men those days seriously when they said they loved a girl, and they took that girl to their mother, and they said, this is the girl I want to marry. So I think I also married a very traditional man. I believed him when he told me he loved me. He took me to his mother. He told me he was going to marry me. I accepted. We did not do all these things that you see on wedding shows, and we are still where we are. Now, scholars. Scholars have done a lot of study on single motherhood. They say in Africa, Kenya is the leader with 30% of women mothers being single mothers. Compare with 18% in Tanzania and Zimbabwe. Compare with 10% in Malawi. Compare with 5% in Ethiopia. %30 in Kenya, 18% in Tanzania and Zimbabwe, 10% in Malawi, and only 5% in Ethiopia. Now, the shocking part in this data is that the single mothers in Kenya are not single because they are widowed. Their husbands did not die. Their husbands they had no husband. Most of them, 44% of that 30%, never attempted marriage. Study also says that most of them get children in their early teens and in their 20s. The men that make them pregnant do not marry them. I wanted you to look at what citizens need to know. Hawakuolewa kwa sababu gani? Hawakuulizwa na wale wamewapatia mimba waolewe. So what is happening? Our young men or old men, I don't know who the fathers are not telling those girls, most of them in their teens and early 20s, hawaambii waolewe. Nobody, those girls have not been taken home to the boy's mother to say, this is the girl, I have made her pregnant, I want to marry her. A lot has been done. We are not just sitting quietly watching at a situation that is not, hakuna mtu anaketi tu, kuna watu wanaongea sana. I want to pick the role of the church here very seriously. There's a specific pastor who I listen to. He's called Pastor Simon Bevi of Mavuno Church. I like his approach to banning the men. The men are born male, but they are not learning to be men. I want to qualify because I used to teach gender and literature also. You're born either male or female, but you become a man through socialization. And somebody has to hold your hand to show you how to become a man. You're born a female. You know those two boxes you fill in your form? Sex, you write F for female. Sex, you write M for male. Kuna wengi wenu wanaandika twice a week. That's not what you're supposed to say in that one. So the church has actually tried their best, especially Bevi, to man the male child, to make sure that he grows up being a man. However, with modernity, there is freedom of choice. You can choose either to get married or not to get married. There is freedom of choice. I'm jumping many things so that I don't have to go on. I want us to go back to situate this context. Tuipeleke pahali tuulize, kwani tulianza wapi? Tumejiona hivi aje? Hebu turudi nyuma kidogo, tuone where exactly did we start on this. Professor has left, and I want to just concur with what he says, that our history, especially from the history of the Mau Mau, the fact that very many young men of procreation age were removed from the center of family and taken with ambio, by choice with the Korowa, we had a very big proportion of our men leaving the center of the family. And the center of the family in this case is the woman. True or false? True or false? So a lot of them, and we have evidence in the research is done. I want to quote one scholar who says that as many as 300,000 men of the Mount Kenya region disappeared during the Mau Mau War. So we already at independence started with a deficit of how many men? All right. Those men, some of them had young wives. Walikuwa na watoto mmoja. If you read Ngugi wa Thiong'o, you will understand. Ngugi wa Thiong'o's character called Gekonyo in a grain of wheat, akaenda war, akarudi, akakuta bibi yake akona. She's pregnant. She left her with one child. He comes back from war and finds his wife pregnant. And he doesn't know how to deal with that. Umeenda, umerudi, bibi yako akona, mimba ya mtu mwingine. They don't know how to deal with that. A lot of families broke up at that time. If you did not find acceptance from that man, by the way, it is very different. In some communities that I will not mention, if your husband goes to war or goes to prison, he's supposed to come back one wararametie ke mushi wake. In many communities that I will not mention, you go to war, dagerire gukora ati agutigire na kana kamwe na no kwakora. Kayo toga wake okiriha. That shiana in African situation watoto ni mali. So nimefungwa, nimekuacha na mtoto moja, nimekaa miaka 5 na kukuta tu na mtoto moja. Why? In many African families, your mother-in-law was supposed to tell you that my son must come and find nyumba yake, and it was acceptable because this kijana huyu amezaliwa na wengine, anasikia tu boma ya huyu iko na watoto 4 5, ya huyu mwingine hakufungwa yako na 4 5. Kwa nini huyu akifungwa anakuta tu wengine wako nyuma yake wameenda mbele yake? So that was acceptable in the African culture. In the Kikuyu culture, it wasn't. And I'll tell you why it wasn't. Because Christianity and Westernization had already preached one man, one wife. It was a very nice thing. One man, one wife had a lot of cheerleaders because remember, the young girls that were getting married were finding it very difficult to cope with their mothers-in-law. I don't know whether it's still the same. I'm waiting for my son to bring me a daughter-in-law. When I tell you this, next time I will tell you what my daughter-in-law thinks about me. I don't know. But young girls find it very difficult to cope with their mothers-in-law. And therefore, one man, one wife was a very good idea, because the one husband who has married you and he is working. Remember westernization and education? We are all educated. We are going to find jobs where? In the city. And you must go with your wife. So every woman celebrated that, especially the ones that were educated at that time. And therefore, there was no friction where that was concerned. And then they also celebrated the idea of romance. Who were their best teachers? The missionaries, the colonizers, and all those people that brought westernization. The next one was urban migration and the effect on the family. When the war ended and the men went back home from the forest, I told you a few girls who already had umeacha bibi, not bibi, a girlfriend. Umekuta huyo girlfriend ameolewa. Bado anaka roho hivi, I quote Ngugi a lot. Anakuona tu hivi anasikia roho, I shouldn't have done that. So there was already a lot of strain in the communities because mwiretu mwega ndathiaga kundu kunene ahikagio itura. So you start seeing her and so forth. So things just were not going right as far as families were concerned. Some of the young women that heard that their boyfriends or their husbands had died during the war and they could not get inheritance from their in-laws, perhaps because they had a daughter or several daughters, they found it easier to go to the city. Uthie gwetha wĩra kĩ? Nairobi. Kazi gani walipata Nairobi wengi wao? Kuosha barabara, kuuza pombe, very good. And why? Because a lot of men also who went home and found that their lands had been taken by their brothers and they didn't have any inheritance, also went to the city. So these women became the comfort women for the men. I did not say the word that starts with a P. They became comfort women. And when they became comfort women, they also got children. And they became, quote unquote, the second families in the city. Because you are already living with so-and-so, you have children, pengine hujawapatia majina kwao sababu hakuna mbuzi zimepelekwa kwenu, lakini umezana na yeye. Na watoto ni wake. Na ni lazima wapeleke wapi? Shule. Sio lazima kupeleke nyumbani. Nyumbani, huyu mzee alikuwa anaenda 2 weeks at Christmas. Siku hizi zote, who is giving him comfort? Who is giving him comfort? Exactly. So whether we want to say it or not, the first, after the Mau Mau War, when urbanization came, a lot of the men that went to the city, by and large, had 2 families. Moja wa Nairobi, na moja wa nyumbani. Wa nyumbani alikuwa nazaa every year, sababu lazima aende nyumbani Christmas for 2 weeks. So every Christmas for 2 weeks, the wife at home would get. And the one in Nairobi, how much money do you think the one in Nairobi was taking from the man who has kept her? Probably 90%. Probably 90%. And therefore, the mpango wa kando did not start with Maina Kageni. It was there from before. So that is urbanization and the effect it had on the family. I want to jump a lot on that and then go to women empowerment. I'm talking about the issues that affected drastically the family as we knew it before of polygamy. Remember there was polygamy? I'll go back to that shortly. Women empowerment came with a slogan, what a boy can do, a girl can do even better. those of us who are teachers were told to tell the high school girls that. Nani mwalimu hapa kama mimi? Tuliambiwa with the women empowerment that we have to encourage the girls wasitoke shule, wasiende kufanya nini. Tukaambiwa hata wakina mama wasiwaambiwa wabebe maji, wabebe firewood, waketi kwa meza kama the boys. Ndivyo wasome kama wao. And the parents were told musipatie hawa wasichana nini? Kazi ya nyumbani. Sababu wanataka kusoma. So women empowerment also played a very big role in injuring the traditional family as we knew it. The other day, one of the young girls that I have been mentoring got married, and she told me of a story of her friend who got married and didn't know how to cook at all. And she was not understanding why. And I told her, let me tell you why girls today don't know how to cook. Unless you're cooking on meko in the city, kama jiko lako liko hapa juu 1 meter, by the time mtoto wako aone unafanya nini hapa juu, akona miaka ngapi? Our modern jikos, we cook here. This is the worktop. By the time upike na kitunguu hapo na jiko liko hapa, mtoto wako akomina na miaka ngapi ndivyo kichwa kikuja juu aone? In the traditional African setting, mtoto anaona kama ako kwa matiti, sababu mama anapika hapa chini. So unless you have a meko in your house down here, your daughter will never know what you do when you stand there until she becomes probably 8. She can become 8. I'm tall, my daughter would be tall. If you're short, by the time she's seeing what you're doing at that point, I don't know. Then remember, our modern homes, the kitchen does not allow people to sit in the kitchen. So it is one person standing in the kitchen cooking. Mtoto anaambiwa keti huko ufanye homework. So the apprenticeship that we are supposed to be giving our children, ndivyo waone vile tunapika, is not there. The working mothers like you and I have house girls. Sababu sasa ndio wanapika. So we have lost. That is the women empowerment. Mtoto afanye homework. Sababu lazima. So they lose touch on certain values of having the kitchen as the center of the home. So they don't know. And truly they don't know. So this girl got married, and every Tuesday and Friday, she would go to her mother's to bring food to her husband. Sababu hajui. And it's not her fault. It is our fault as mothers. We are not teaching our daughters how to cook. So our daughters are doctors and engineers and so forth, but tell her how to cook, she would not know where to begin. Let's reflect together then. Let's reflect. Single motherhood is popular. It's not just we are accepting it. It is popular. And I will tell you why it is popular. The young people who are on social media know the young girls who are married, who are busy fronting the images of their daughters and their sons, and their status is single. So you're more popular when you're a mother than when you're married. And it's become fashionable. It's become completely fashionable at the upper end. The middle class, you and I, it's fashionable for our daughters to be single parents. Why? They are empowered financially. And they think wanaume ni stress. Wanaume ni stress. Where have they learned? Unfortunately, from us, their mothers. Unfortunately, let's call a spade a spade. The mothers have told their daughters, wanaume ni Because when your husband comes home late, the first person that knows that he's coming home late is your daughter. You're discussing your husband with your daughter. You're discussing your neighbor's husband with your daughter. Wakipigana usiku, the first person you tell is your. So when your daughter is going to school and she starts dating when she's at the university, after 18 years, your daughter must date. If she doesn't date, there's something that is not right. She must date. God created us so that our hormones start attracting the opposite sex, and it is very normal. If you come home and find your daughter with a boy and you're a mother, what do you do? These are points to ponder. If your neighbor's daughter gets pregnant, what do you tell your daughter? What do you tell your daughter when your neighbor's daughter gets pregnant? All right? You start laughing at them. All right? And you do not know that you have an elephant in your room. So how we speak to our daughters, how we speak to our sons, is they are internalizing so early. Mimi kama sio watoto singeolewa. And so forth. You start envying women who have to ask for visas to go somewhere. That's what we call, where I live, we talk about visas. Uko na visa wewe, ebu anza kwenda nyumbani. So you start envying women who go to places without visas. When women get very empowered, the parents celebrate that empowerment. There was a movement of Kamweredo, true or false? What were the women doing? What their brothers couldn't do. And they were very strong. Kuwaonyesha wazazi, hata hujakula mbuzi imenona. Hii ndio nakuletea. Yule kijana na umempatia shamba, amekuletea mbuzi kama hii. So, because they are financially empowered, they mobilize their friends in Nairobi. Magari yanajaa wapi? Kwa boma. Unaletewa. What do you tell your son who has not mobilized those magaris na kukuletea suit na tie na kofia na mkwajo nagete? What do you tell your son? He's good for nothing. So, at a family level, we are creating those discrepancies. Tunaambia wasichana wetu ona koroni ali muhiko na dage kinyite hau. You know what I mean? So at the family level, we are creating that. And then we start blaming society. Society starts in our homes, not out there. We create that ourselves. Those single mothers, whose children are those? Wamezaa. Hawa watoto ni wanani? Who knows a single mother who has had a test tube baby? So hawa watoto wamezaliwa na nani? So Mr. Kaguthi thinks very differently. I think very differently. He throws the charge at me, and I say, and I keep telling him, I say, can men take responsibility of the children they sire outside, whether before or you don't have to marry her if you don't want to, because marriage is by choice. Nobody will force you to marry her. But if you have a child with her, please make sure that your child goes to school and make sure unamwekea kakitu. Am I inciting somebody? Niongee na Kikuyu hapo. All right, I will leave you discussing because I don't drive at night. Nimesema how wote single mothers tunasema. I have very many. I've got a sister. All right. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What I am saying is, agikwira duri na mwana, then you have no responsibility. But akwira mwana oyo ne waku na ndari na fithi. I have not seen any man who has become poor by paying school fees. I have never seen. I have never seen. Have you seen one who has been made poor for paying school fees for their child? All right. All right. So, women, we told our daughters what a boy can do, a girl can do better. I don't know what the men told their sons. I honestly do not know. Why? Because my paper did not ask me to research on that. My paper simply told me to tell you what the situation of single motherhood is and what you need to know. I don't want to frighten you, but what is happening is the only people who are unhappy when their daughters get children are the lower class. The modern and the upper class are not bothered when their daughters don't get married and they get children. In fact, they celebrate. Sababu hiyo nyumba haikuwa na kamtoto kakutumwa. All right? Unafurahi sababu kuna katoto ka kutumatuma. Umezeeka, nilete, you're very happy. When that girl wants to get married, you're even hesitating. Dogo dina mwana oyo. Wedhi, tika mwana. Denying your daughter the responsibility of raising her child. Okoiga wedhi, digira kama udege tomagao. The people that are most affected are the poorer people, because when that girl gets pregnant, it is a child out of school, it is another mouth to feed, it is fortunes come down, and you do not even know how so your family becomes more challenged because of that. But when you and I hear our daughters get married, we say it's fine, and so forth. Single motherhood has also been celebrated by our celebrities. Our media celebrities, they post pregnancy on Facebook. You follow them. You know how they are going. No mention of the father of the child. A lot of single mothers are also genuinely afraid to get married. Genuinely. They would love to get married, but they are genuinely afraid kwa sababu siku hizi kuria thuri mendete tunyama turia tuororo na marenda mundu uroka na kanyama kororo. So even if you want to give marriage a chance, you are genuinely afraid. The fear of the unknown, because we have heard. And when you're that afraid, there are also men who want to marry you. No makoiga dogo kanaki na koriga ku. So what do you do? Tuigwete ciana igeikio ruwe. Iria igeikoragwo, because if the only way to get married is if you leave your child, then it means you leave your child. You probably don't have a mother that can celebrate you leaving the child with them. So what do? When we were growing up and we were very small, I must have been 5 or 6. Hemwiretu aikirie mwana kioro. And we started kuga dae gwata dae daikia mwana kioro. I think she was called Washo, if I remember. Daikia mwana kioro Washo. It became our proverb, and everybody knew that. So as we are doing all that, let's look at Korea Dumatoe, other families and other communities, what they do. In some communities that I will not mention here, everybody knows who the father of that child is. And you must say it, especially before you give birth. And you are threatened, if you do not say, this child will kill you, and nobody wants to die. So you must say who the father is. Do you know why that was important and still should be among us? You avoid incest. Can you imagine a young man who has been making so-and-so pregnant and so-and-so pregnant and so-and-so pregnant? Of course, there were penalties those days. You had to pay ihu, no kinyokariha. If you're not marrying that girl, you pay. If you're not marrying the other one, the first one your father would pay, the second one he wouldn't. Otherwise, then you become the he-goat of the village. So what used to happen, is that when those measures were placed by the community so that you don't go making every girl pregnant, you had to be very careful. Your father would pay the first one, and you'd need to explain why you're not marrying her. She's not married, she's your friend, you marry her. In the absence of that, I am afraid to say there is a very high possibility of incest among us. Because if I am a mother and I do not disclose who the father of my daughter is, and you have a son and you don't disclose who the father of your son is, there could be chances that they're step brother and sister, because nobody knows. So, and because societies are very small, there could be that possibility that people born of the same father are getting married. Finally, because I do not know what the men have told their sons, when your son makes a girl pregnant, don't clap your hands. Unless you don't have a daughter in your house. Don't clap your hands. Tell him to take responsibility. By the way, in Japan, there's only 1% of single mothers, and those single mothers are widowed. Japanese men take responsibility where they plant their seeds. Let the Kikuyu men take responsibility where they plant their seeds. If they do not want, let them not go planting everywhere. If you want 12 children, tell your wife to give you 12 children. I'm done.
Tumpige makofi tena. I do agree. If a boy has impregnated your daughter, that boy is the father of that girl. Traditionally, if the boy does not accept, that clan pays. So we are saying reintroduce those values where the Christian and the law system has been failing. Sawa sawa? That's what we are saying. So we are together. Sawa sawa? Thank you so much. I can see you are encouraged. You are seeing some direction. The challenge you have is that the business now comes to you. The business now comes to you because it is expected you are going to influence that direction which you find good is what you are going to encourage. Kamweretho, I know the elders are very disturbed. Muthuri akareherwo indo ni murata wa mwiritu uyu nayo nere akomaga nao agoka ati kurehe kuonania agakorwo akionania ikoria atiriri athuri aya muiretu eragwo no akiriri ekiriri etiguo indo iria ciothe nacio ni ciao ni cia muciucio niguo acoke riu iria ararogotire cina mahitia macio mothe na giko kiu giothe oke riu akinaga nangi no ngimaroro othe ri ungirora history yao hena thina ndikwari horo athuri no aiguo guo. So we have a challenge. Do you agree we have a challenge? Do you agree that some directions are coming through? We will ask those two elders to sit down so that we finish together. Kindly. We think there is a bit of a challenge, but instead of what we are consulting with Major here, he wanted to talk about terrorism. He also wanted to talk about the psychological warfare being waged against Kenya and where your children are just swallowing. But looking at the mood which was there, ilionekana kama you have absorbed quite a lot. So my problem with him, we are not able to decide for you. Do you want him to come in for 15-20 minutes? Or you want to postpone it kama masaa ikipatikana kesho ikikosekana neke? Sorry? All those who want to give him this opportunity, mkono juu, mkono chini. All those who say, I'm exhausted, tuende kesho. May I introduce the Major? May I introduce Major Rama Degwa Mangombe. Rama Degwa Mangombe. He's a retired military major. He has he has such experience, and I normally persuade him not to go beyond a certain level when talking to you. We are suggesting that you listen, take that little break that you are taking when he is introducing the subject. You come back quietly, we sit down, and even you can exercise just a little bit of that, kidogo kidogo. Over to you, Major.